So as promised, we have a second article from CBR.com regarding Velma, and apparently they must watch multiple YouTube channels that talk about Velma, even though they swear that they didn't and that Velma's the most amazing show ever. Apparently, they are now coming out with this article that is trying to say that Velma has a new theory, apparently, and they're the ones that want to claim credit for this, that apparently Gigi will become Scooby-Doo. This is something we've been talking about for weeks regarding Velma. And it's something that we really wish happened at the end of the first season because that would make that terrible show at least memeable to the point where we can all have a great time just laughing at it. There's something so absolutely insane happening within the show, but unfortunately all we got was a cookie cutter ending to the first season, which made it literally one of the worst shows ever. It was just so absolutely boring to watch it. When I was doing my reviews, I had to drag my feet through them, but I got through it, thankfully, because of you guys. And there will be a season 2 coming out potentially this year, supposedly. And if there is, of course, we will jump on it on the channel and meme it to hell. But apparently there is a theory, according to CBR.com, regarding Velma, and the fact that it says spoiler will become Scooby-Doo, but we all know exactly who they're talking about because it's actually in the picture. It says Velma's first season sets up the incorporation of Scooby-Doo into the show's canon, and one character may wind up becoming the iconic canine sleuth. Now, again, if Gigi becomes Scooby-Doo, that's going to be the most hilarious thing that I could possibly think of. I think I would give the show 5 points just for doing that alone. But let's see what CBR has to say about what we've already been talking about for weeks now. It feels like almost a month now. It says the first season of HBO Max's Velma reimagined most of Mystery Inc. as disparate high schoolers tracking a brain-stealing serial killer in Crystal Cove. But one character has been notably missing from the lineup, Scooby-Doo himself. Co-creator Charlie Grady said that including the canine sleuth would distract from the series' adult-only tone, which coincided with Warner Bros.' directive to keep the character out of shenanigans. Velma instead kept its focus on the teens and their mystery solving for better or for worse. Who wrote this article out, by the way? I didn't even check. Oh, look, Morgan. Of course, Morgan, the same feminist from the last article that we did. Okay, so they did 2 articles back to back. Interesting. However, as Velma Dinkley peeled back the layers of Crystal Cove's criminal conspiracy, a new wrinkle took the show in an unexpected direction. Project Scooby, a government-funded mad science operation to transplant the brain of an agent into the body of a teenager in order to infiltrate and disrupt the activities of meddling kids. Many viewers have seen this as a signal to Scooby's horrifying arrival on the show, with someone getting their brain installed in a Great Dane to bring the iconic talking dog into the show's canon. Of the characters introduced in Velma's first season, the likeliest candidate might be one of its original debuts, Gigi. They should have did this at the end of the first season, man. If they would have left it on a cliffhanger where like they were transplanting the brain to maybe save Gigi's life or something along those lines, and all of a sudden it's going into the Great Dane, and then the Great Dane at the end it zooms into the dog's eyes, and then you see the dog's eyes open, and then it ends at that point. That would be an amazing cliffhanger to go into season 2. But of course, these people are not that creative. They wanted something that was cookie cutter. They went the safe route, and they didn't even touch the idea of the Great Dane at all. It really makes the show just not interesting whatsoever. And this show needs crazy at this point. It needs something crazy, because without it, it's just a terrible show. But if you at least give us something crazy that's memeable, yeah, you might be able to get into a notorious level where, you know what, people hate it so much that it's damn near interesting. Voiced by Yvonne, Gigi is a member of Crystal Cove High School's popular crowd and thus a potential target for the serial killer. Although initially little more than a background character, she's given more prominence in the 4th episode. Velma makes a list. When Velma is commissioned to mask the girls' attractiveness to make them less likely targets. It doesn't go as planned, with Velma herself learning a lesson about judging her classmates, but Gigi ends up finding the courage to express herself, adopting a more gothic or alternative style of dress. This leads to Gigi's romance with Norville Rogers, which is rocky at best thanks to Norville still being hung up on Velma. The two eventually break up, but her development as a character remains steady by the season's end. Arguably, Gigi ends up becoming the most well-rounded teen outside the main cast, which makes her an ideal candidate to join them on a more permanent basis as the Scooby-Doo franchise's most popular character. What's more, Gigi already has a connection to Norville specifically, which could be leading to the pair's famous friendship that's a staple of the series. Now, the only thing I will say, and I've said this many times regarding the whole Gigi theory, is that it's going to make it very, very awkward that if Gigi ends up going into Scooby's brain or becoming Scooby-Doo, it's going to be very, very awkward because Gigi and Norville obviously had a thing. And what if they still have a thing when she ends up getting her brain transferred into the dog? Then you're going to be talking romantic feelings for a dog. It's like, It's very weird, man. I really don't understand. I still say that Gigi is the most likely candidate. We've said that all the time. We've talked about it on Saturday Night Hypnosis during our live stream at 8 p.m. Eastern every Saturday. But at the end of the day, I just don't see why they would make Gigi the dog, because it would just make everything so weird and so awkward. This show needs something fucking crazy like that. It really does. It needs something wild. So then the article says there's also the matter of Gigi's casting. Velma not only saw the mystery in Gang largely reimagined as racially diverse and portrayed by actors who match their new ethnicities, but has made that change an integral part of the story. Much of the series' humor leans on the fourth wall, with characters commenting on the show's status as a parody of teen dramas and the unprecedented diversity of the cast. Having a black woman voice Scooby-Doo's titular character is exactly the sort of thing that Velma would not only do, but also make the subject of multiple jokes just to egg on the naysayers hoping to see the show fail. But the show did fail. It's like, what are you talking about? The show did fail. What do you mean naysayers hoping that the show would fail? The show did fail. The show failed almost immediately. By the way, what's this person's name again? Morgan Shawnette. Morgan, just out of curiosity, do you know what the viewership for Velma is by chance? Yeah, neither do we. So how can you say that the show succeeded? Obviously, the show failed, because if the company will not come out with the numbers, that means they are too ashamed to do so. And when a company does that, you already know what the deal is. You don't have to dig any further. You don't have to look any further. The Nielsen ratings have already proved to us that even on the original charts, it didn't even break into the top 10. It didn't even have any chance whatsoever. I guarantee you The Last of Us probably did. I guarantee you that. And this show is apparently, according to HBO Max, this show is more popular than The Last of Us. So if The Last of Us ends up breaking into the Nielsen ratings, but Velma didn't, guess who lied? Yeah, Morgan, guess who lied? So I understand why this person has to take this stance, because like we said in the last video with Morgan's article, she's a hardcore feminist. She fucking took a profile picture in a mask. This is the kind of person that we're dealing with, okay? So she's not exactly dealing from a logical standpoint, but still, Gigi becoming Scooby-Doo, I think it needs to happen, because it will be the most ultimate memeable thing. To see them turn a black girl into a literal dog, I think the world needs to see it at this point. But whether or not it actually happens, I don't really know. But it says, despite its divisive critical reception, what? Velma has been a ratings hit for HBO Max and has already been renewed for a second season. Where is the ratings hit? Where is the ratings hit, Morgan? Tell us, show us, where? Let's see what this article links to. Let's see. Velma's popularity spikes 127% despite overwhelmingly negative reviews. We already know where that stands, Morgan. We already know that 127% number is bullshit. It's been debunked. It's been proven. 127%. Why? Because it was the most searched show on social media? Because it had the most clicks on social media? What about the viewership? Talk about the viewership, Morgan. You can't, because HBO Max hasn't released the numbers. So you trying to pretend like this show is amazing. You trying to pretend like this show is successful. You look like an idiot. You are obviously lying, and now we see why you write for CBR.com. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy, and if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.